All right. Hello, hello.
Hi.
All right, welcome to our closing here. I can't wait to hear all of your ideas. So, okay, just a second here. I'm going to spotlight myself and give a little introduction. All right, welcome to all of you who are watching in the recording. This is January's Your Way workshop, and we just spent the last, actually almost an hour now, talking in small groups, and I hope you will join us next time. So the three questions we covered tonight, all on the topics of creative habits, were what is one creative habit you've struggled with in the past, and what have you tried so far to build that? What tools do you use to keep track of your creative ideas and projects, and what are you still in need of a solution for? And when do you typically scrapbook, and how do you try to carve out that time for scrapbooking? So our participants here have gathered all of their best ideas, and they're going to raise their hands and share some of them with you guys now. I'm going to cancel my spotlight so we can see everyone's faces. All right, who wants to raise their hand first? Toby. All right, let's spotlight you.
My biggest issue is carving out a routine to scrapbook. I do it hit or miss. I'm not good at being organized at doing it.
Mm-hmm. What is one thing you think you're going to try this year?
I'm going to try to set aside at least a couple of times a week to set aside an hour to work on it. I am not a fast scrapbooker because I'm a perfectionist, and so it takes me time. But if I set aside like 2 evenings a week, that might work for me.
That sounds like a great goal. I love it, and I can't wait to follow your progress. All right. Other takeaways? Who wants to raise their hand next? Carmen. Hi.
Hello, I'm back. This is one of my starts to my developing creative habits is to actually be back actively participating in Simple Scrapbooker.
Me too.
Hey.
Hey, hi.
Sorry.
Well, that's something that we always say, that like showing up here is the best habit that you can have because of this group accountability.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we
I think
about that.
Yeah.
Accountability.
One thing that's really worked for me in the past is the daily habit of just a small amount of time committed each day. My life is a little different than it was 2 years ago. I don't know if I can make it a daily habit, but I'd like to try at least a couple of times a week, making that time. I have an in development dedicated space, and I think one of the things that I really took away from our last little group was just the idea that we need to choose it rather than letting, like, I've just let myself float into social media and online games and that sort of thing, and really I have nothing to take away from. I have some, I've read interesting articles or I've had good conversations from time to time, but most of the time it's just floating. So I want to choose this as an intentional habit this year.
I love that. I love that. I love that idea of choice, and that we have that power. Like, I mean, we're totally in control here, and sometimes it doesn't feel that way, but we really are. All right, good luck.
Thank you.
All right, who is next? Other takeaways? Bree, are you raising your hand?
Yeah, just a little bit, just building on, because I think that a lot of people have this goal to like set creative habit time, and that is something that I set about, towards the end of last year, and it's really helped me. I'm very, very deliberate in the days that I do it, and it does not move. So one thing I would just suggest if anybody, wants to take on something is I have a shared calendar with my family, and that date is on there.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
and they know.
Yeah, put it on the
That's a good
calendar.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I do not, and it's not in a mean way, but like I do not change that date for anything or anybody, frankly. Like, I mean, they're obviously allowed to be with me and they can come in and ask for, a drink or whatever, but like we don't make plans on those nights where I scrapbook. Like, I mean, and at least I won't be attending them. You know what I mean? So like everybody knows that, and it's just now it's just become part of the daily family routine, or the my 3 days a week. That's my daily family routine on those days, and they know better, and I'm sure that they would support you in that, like, and help you like make that habit if you share it with them and help them be a partner in your creative life.
Oh yeah, and I think sometimes it's just that communication, and it might feel scary, particularly if you're the person that's saying, "Oh, well, I don't really have the time because I have all these, home things to do." But your family wants you to be happy and, more pleasant to be around, and they know when you take care of yourself that happens. So,
Exactly.
Indeed.
all right, who's next? Monica. All right, hey.
Your microphone's blocked.
All right.
There you go.
I was just following Bree was saying, I think the hardest thing for me when I started making scrapping a real priority last year was what I had to let go, right? I had to decide what my priorities were, and there really wasn't time to do all the things I wanted or thought I wanted to do. And I needed to be willing to let some things go. So a lot of it is getting comfortable with that. I do think somewhat as moms, we tend to take on a lot. We're used to doing a lot. But also sometimes letting it go and just walking away from things gives an opportunity for other people to step up because they realize, oh, okay, wait, mom's not going to take care of that. I mean, you really have to decide what in your family and your dynamics will or will not work. But I really did. Once I walked away, my husband stepped up and picked up more things because I wasn't doing them, and he realized they need to get done. So yeah, I think it's getting comfortable with that and deciding I'll get to that, whatever it is, after I scrapped. For years, It was I'll scrap after I finish everything. And of course, you never finish everything, right?
Yeah, that's the way mine.
That's true.
It also might be giving up some things inside of scrapbooking too, that maybe your ambitions are too ambitious. You can't do all the things that you want to do, and you really have to pick one or change your approach to make it more doable in the time that you have.
Yeah.
All right.
And the habit that we talked about that I always have to remind myself of too is the idea that once you try a habit, like if it doesn't work, it doesn't mean like you failed and just give it up completely. It's the idea of like try it for like a month and then reevaluate, and then you can tweak it, and then you can just keep tweaking until you find what really works for you, as opposed to just being like, oh, well, I failed and that didn't work, so I'm not even gonna try anymore. So just to kind of think about it, that it evolves as you evolve and your hobby evolves. So that it's just that always has to be, I guess, to assess it. See where
Well,
you're at.
like, can you try that habit in a new way? Like I've tried a million times to get up really early in the morning and go work out right away, but my body does not want to do that. But I can somehow make myself, at least I have 2 days in a row, made myself go downstairs, get under a blanket in my living room with a cup of coffee and a book, because that feels a lot less terrible than going to the gym in the morning.
Yes.
All right.
So it's about reframing what that habit is, and maybe in a year, who knows what it's going to be like. But if I can get up at 5 to read, I think might be able to get up to do something else too. So
True. Or you read for 15 minutes and then you stop for 15 minutes or whatever, right? You can like adapt it.
yeah, stacking habits too.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could take your book to the gym and read it while you ride the bike.
I could do that. Baby steps though.
Yeah.
He's like,
Maybe
hold
when
on.
it's a little warmer and it's not so terrifying to go outside when it's cold.
Yes, that is for sure. Or I need to move to Florida.
There you go. We have plenty of room down here.
Yeah.
All right, other takeaways for tonight. What do you use to keep track of your ideas and projects? What's working well for that?
Zip.
This year I started using the Get to Work book from Elise Cripe,
Nice.
and I'm really loving that it's just for crafts. There's no general life stuff in it. It's just my crafting goals, and I'm using that and her habit tracker, her daily that you get from when you sign up for her emails, to try and do 20 minutes a day,
Nice.
at least 200 days of the year. So it's 3
Oh,
or
at least 200. Wow.
That's a great goal. I love it.
20 minutes
Yeah.
3 or 4 days a week. So it'll even out to about that by the end of the
Okay.
year.
Oh,
So
organized.
it sounds like a lot when you say 200 days.
200 days. I'd
Yeah.
be lucky to do 2 days.
Yes, but it's more than I would have done last year. So
That's true. Yeah.
every little bit makes a difference.
Well, I like that idea. I mean, none of us really probably need an excuse to buy another planner. A lot of us probably like them, but when you segment your things and have a special place for it, it elevates it and gives it that priority.
Yeah. I have
And
a
plus,
couple
that
years ago,
data
you
track is
worked
awesome.
on it.
Oh, we got two people talking at once.
No, I'm sorry. It was just me. I was just saying I love that daily tracker that she has anyway. It is very visually appealing. Like, even as a person who likes planners and stuff, you're just like, tape that up there. It's easy, and you just check it off.
And it's there to see.
I got one on my fridge, so.
Well, I use a Creative Hub. A couple of years ago, you did a Creative Hub, Jen.
Yes.
And I have a planner in the front of that, just a calendar, monthly calendar. And then each of my projects has its own section. So I write down what I've done and what needs to be done next.
Yeah.
So then each project, I can go to each album and say, oh, well, I haven't done this one since, I need to catch this one up to 2005. And this one is fine, but I'll need to pay attention to this one, or maybe I want to make a mini book of this. So I have those projects there. Just when I have the time, I know where to start.
I love it. I love seeing how people have taken the Creative Hub concept and adapted it to their own planner systems. So we have a Creative Hub class inside the membership. We also have a Trello for Scrapbookers class, which then has a Trello version of the Creative Hub. So that's where I keep all of my stuff now, is in Trello. And it's been so fascinating to see it evolve and to see different ways people are using that concept. Because I think it's just, it could be, Kimberly could say that her Get to Workbook is her Creative Hub. It's a way to put that container around it. So that's awesome that you're using.
Is anybody using the Ellie Edwards story planner system? I'm just curious. I've been wondering about that.
I had it for a while, and I liked it, and I used it for a little bit, but I found that, honestly, I'm just too digital. Like, my whole life is very digital, so I had actually ended up sending it along to a wonderful lady in the group around Christmas time so it could get some love. But it was a really nice place, like, to put all your stuff, but I just found that I wasn't updating it as much as I should.
That's a good tangent, Bree, is that we all have things that aren't getting love, sometimes maybe have never even been opened. Mm-hmm. And if you can send that along to another scrapbooker who maybe is ready for that, like, it's a good way to just make sure things are getting homes.
Would there be a place in the Simple Scrapper website, like a garage sales site, that you can list, hey, I have these things, would anybody want them? Or would that be a Facebook thing? Or
we can totally do that inside the My Simple Scrapper community.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just did a post. I would just do
a general discussion post or a supplies post. Story organization.
And just
so we are allowed to do that. I just don't want to break any rules.
There's no rules against that. Like, I thought something I want to do all the time.
Right.
Yeah. And I wasn't selling it either. Like, so I feel like it's more like hey, whoever messages me first gets dibs. And like, I just want somebody to have it, have fun.
Yeah, I'd rather it go to somebody that's going to use it than just put it in Goodwill.
Yeah.
So that made me think, sorry, one more thing quick. Bree mentioned with the tools concept, like, she tried something in the past, but she wouldn't, I guess she adapted her Trello is what it was.
Yeah.
But anyways, she wasn't checking it. And I had that experience too, because like way back when you first did the Creative Hub, I'd set it up in like Evernote, and then I set it up somewhere else. But if it was someplace that I wasn't used to checking, it did me no good. So I had to like find a way or choose a system that I would normally check. So like if there's a way to pair it. So Bree and her, when we discussed it, she talked about how she already uses, is it day one, Bree, that you journal in?
I have a trifecta system. So I have AnyDo that is my taskmaster. And so I have it linked to Trello to like add Trello tasks to my task list. So like things that I want to assign to myself, it kind of like, and I know Trello has those capabilities. It just wasn't like, for me, it wasn't working. So, but then for day one, for my daily stories, I journal every day. And that's just a habit I've had for years. I always journal. And I found that some of my everyday easy stories were getting lost in the shuffle a little bit. And now I just tag them in day one. When I journal, I just tag it with stories to tell. And that way, when I just want something easy to scrapbook, I just search by that tag, find something I like, and then I scrapbook it and then delete the tag.
Nice. That's a great system.
It's easy. It
Well,
works.
and you were already doing the day one thing, right? So you were already journaling it. So that's why I think it's genius, is because you tied it into like something that you were already doing. You just made it work for scrapbooking.
Yeah, and added another layer of organization to it.
Yeah.
So it could be simple, like if say you're using Lightroom for photo organization, like using a tag in Lightroom or journaling in your metadata, or somehow structuring it that way if you're regularly using Lightroom, whether on your computer or on your phone.
Yeah, Lightroom's great for that, actually. It's super easy to do it in that.
All right, any final questions before we wrap up here? No, okay. So a couple small announcements here. Most of you probably know we have the bucket list project starting January 28th. We just announced that this week. I'm so excited. It's been, like, the response has been a little overwhelmingly positive. It's been kind of surprising. So thank you for all of you who've already signed up. The class is $48 regular price, but if you become a member, the class is only $8. So there's a $40 off coupon inside of the membership. And today I actually just updated our membership page. We had it kind of like in a holding pattern after our planning party. I'm going to put the link in the chat room for you guys. It's just simplescrapper.com/membership. So if you aren't a member yet and want to check out the details, that page has just been overhauled. And so I'm excited to share that and hope you will join us. It's $150 for a year. There is a month-to-month option, but you save 40% if you go ahead and do an annual membership. And I see a lot of annual members in here with us today, and I'm grateful for your support. And a lot of you who've already signed up using that coupon code for the Bucket List Project. But if you are newer to our community, I would love if you joined us either inside the membership or just on your own in the Bucket List Projects. I think this is going to be a really fun experience. We've talked a lot about Trello tonight, and this class, I'm teaching it entirely in Trello. And it's going to be crazy and amazing, and I'm really excited to help you kind of come up with your own strategies and basically build in the accountability and the habits by keeping you in Trello and checking things off and communicating with each other. So it's going to be awesome. Yes. All right, guys, thank you again for another Your Way workshop. Next month is Find Your Way month, and what that really is finding the styles, formats, and approaches of scrapbooking that really work for you. That's our brand of Simple. So Simple Scrapper to us means what works for you, what helps you find joy and ease and flow in your creativity, not necessarily a style. It could be a style, but it could be something else. And so next month is going to be all about figuring out your way. And of course, that ties into the Scrapbook Your Way podcast and all that. So thank you guys for all your support. This is going to be a great year, and I'm so looking forward to joining you again. Bye.